Just a bit. Mayuresh Joshi, Director Research at MarketSmith India, joins us on the show. Hi, Mayuresh. We'll wait for Lenskart numbers. Okay, wait. We have the numbers actually, Mayuresh. What's your view on the company on the whole? Because it appears that after seeing a sharp downtick, the actual operating number is quite good. The operating profit is up. And I think something would have hit the profitability below the operating line, given that the top line growth is solid, 2,500 crores of a number out there. Margins have moved to around 21.5%. That's a massive 400 basis points expansion out there. But below that level, that seems a bit of a dip. Mayuresh, when the stock listed, people called it expensive. Guess what? Shut up all the naysayers, because it went from 370 all the way to 530 rupees, if I remember correctly. At around 480, it's still not cheap. But what would you make with these set of numbers?
Afternoon, Nigel. No, I think it seems to be a very decent set, at least on the operating front. And though I've not seen the granular details, because the numbers are just out, I think if you probably look at the 9-month performance that Lenskart had delivered, the expectations in terms of store openings, specifically in the domestic context, are going to keep it in good stead. Again, I think the entire perspective that the management is trying to put forth and bring about is also the premiumization aspect in terms of its store offerings and the product mix, which probably makes the management believe that they can probably hit margins which can be even higher than what they've posted right now. So the expectation from a long process, and we'd love to hear the management's view on this, is anywhere between 24 and 25%. And in fact, a couple of slides in the previous transcript that they probably put forth is the international businesses as well, specifically Japan, specifically Southeast Asian operations and the Middle East, including UAE and Saudi Arabia, where the expectation is that the market size is relatively huge and the expectations of qualitative products coming at a more affordable cost out of the Lenskart suite might actually aid in international margins also going up and aiding the overall volume of bottom line growth.
Mayuresh, do you like Zydus Life?
Strong numbers, Mangalam. And again, I think if you probably look at how the management has probably put forth the pipeline itself, the kind of FTFs that are expected to come through, they've got around 9 approvals in the quarter gone by, 26 approvals for the entire annualized year last year. And they've got a very decent pipeline going forward as well. Now, the India business, along with margins, expected to continue doing well. North America, in a similar fashion, should probably continue, as I said, in terms of new launches expected to do well. And the wellness part, the Zydus wellness component, which is on 20%, I think that is showing significant signs of relative strength as we speak in the areas and the operations that they operate out of. So overall, both standalone and consolidated, I think the numbers should probably hold up. The ratings and rankings look extremely strong as we see it in markets with India. Anybody holding should continue to decide.
Well, industry is lower in the session. Mayuresh, let me come across to you first. It's been a company, that's had dependence on a single product from a single customer for quite some time, and that's clearly played out in the last couple of years. There has been some diversification. What's your view on PI Industries? And within the agrochem space, where does your preference lie?
Afternoon, Vivek. No, I think you're absolutely right. And that is where I think the risk component comes from, where either the client concentration is high or the expectations in terms of depending on a very few supply chains might actually impact your operating performance as well. And therefore, I think the kind of numbers that are probably put out were put out by PI Industries below par. Q1 might be equally tough with the West Asian crisis going on, what probably happens with a lot of the supply chains, and therefore what kind of margins are we probably expected to see. So I think it might remain a little bit subpar as we speak. For a lot of agrochem players in general, I think our own sense is that it's a wait and watch approach. Obviously, I think a couple of names that we are keeping on our radar, Sharda Cropchem, where I think the entire business is more forward integrated rather than backward, specifically when it comes to its European operations, is one stock that we are probably monitoring as we speak. And obviously, I think the expectations largely is that the approvals that probably come through and the input cost, how does that probably lay out in terms of either repricing or taking a hit on your numbers itself. So wait and watch, but something like a Sharda is something we're monitoring very, very closely.